Thanks for joining me for coffee this morning. I had an interesting exchange this week with a cab driver named Ben in Denver. He's Ethiopian, and I got in the car and I had a cup of coffee in a Go cup, and he enjoyed the smell of the coffee, and he told me about an Ethiopian coffee ritual that's been passed down by his ancestors for generations, and it happens 3 times a day. It's not just having coffee, it's an honor to be invited to coffee at an Ethiopian home. And it's a tradition where everyone socializes and chats, and the coffee aroma is enjoyed, and the coffee is brewed 3 times so you can smell it forever. And then it's served in little demitasse cups. Here in America, Ben has brought his tradition of making coffee early in the morning every day. He gets up and he washes his green coffee beans and roasts them himself. He smells the aroma as it roasts. He sees them as they roast in the pan, and he calls out the imperfect ones. He said it is important for him to make his coffee with pure beans, so he drinks pure coffee. It made me think of the importance of purity in our lives as spiritually single wives. In 1 Peter 3, 1-4, it says, "Wives, in the same way, submit yourselves to your own husbands, so that if any of them do not believe the word, they may be won over without words by the behavior of their wives, when they see the purity and reverence of your lives. Your beauty should not come from outward adornment, such as elaborate hairstyles and the wearing of gold jewelry or fine clothes. Rather, it should be that of your inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight." But we live in a time when purity isn't a virtue. It isn't valued. But God thinks our purity is important. So important, He mandates that we be pure. He sets us up to deliver His message to our unsaved husbands by our purity, not by our words or our stunning good looks. We need to understand what pure means so it can ooze right out of us. How do we do that? Well, Webster says that pure is free from harshness or roughness. It's being in tune like a fine instrument, free from what pollutes or weakens, containing nothing that does not properly belong, free from moral fault or guilt, marked by chastity, having exactly the talents or skills needed for a particular role. Think of Ben's coffee beans. He wanted only pure beans. He called out anything that did not belong because he wanted an unpolluted, smooth, pure cup of coffee. Now, think of us. We want to be faithful, supportive, in tune. We don't wake up every day and say, "How can I be harsh or rough on my husband?" We want forgiveness, and we want to extend forgiveness. Anything else does not properly belong and should be called out, like Ben's coffee beans. We want to have the talents and skills we need to be the best wife for this one man that God gave us. That's being pure. We just don't call it pure in our culture. So when we talk about having coffee together, think of the Ethiopian coffee ceremony and the socializing it brings. I hope we all get to slow down a little bit this week and enjoy coffee for hours with a friend. Thanks for joining me today for our little coffee ceremony. Join me next time for Coffee with Chris.